Good evening. The final religion that we're going to talk about in the Abrahamic war against the world is Islam. It is the newest kid on the block when we're talking about the Abrahamic religions as a whole. Islam started roughly at 600 CE, Common Era, by Mohammad, who they call the Prophet. Muhammad is a political and religious leader. He strongly mixes religion and politics, which is more than what the Christians did, and so it does make Islam to be more violent, more aggressive. Muhammad was a violent person. In his lifetime, one of his conquests was the city of Mecca. He was having disputes with other cities and tribes, and he has had a series of battles involving Mecca, which is one of the holy cities in the religion of Islam. Islam itself is a bad word. It means struggle. You are supposed to surrender to Allah. After a few years from Muhammad's death, the Muslims attack and invade Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Persia. By 674 CE, Islam conquests have reached the Indus River. Thus, they are on the verge of entering modern-day India. In 711 CE, Islamic forces control all of the Persian Empire and most of the Roman Empire. A lot of people now say that Islam is a backwards land, and that might be true for now, but back in the day, Islam was advanced, and they did have a lot of thinking out on planning. The number system that we use is the Arabic number system, not the Roman number system, because the Arabic system was better and it was brought out by them in their part of their conquests. By 715 CE, most of Spain is conquered. It took the Muslim forces 3 years to conquer, and it took over 450 years for the Christians to retake all of Spain. A lot of bloodshed involved there. In 839 CE, during the Sicilian campaign, Islamic forces capture Enna, and they slaughter several thousands of villagers. The bad thing about the Christian and Muslim forces, during the Crusades and all of their religious battles, there were many times where whoever won the battle slew everybody. You could be a soldier, you could be a wife, you could be a mother, you could be a little child. It did not matter. You died because you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. In 986 CE, Muslims invaded and committed many massacres in modern India, destroying many temples and idols. This is what's happening today now. ISIS, or ISIL, they have destroyed many temples, statues, many things that hold historical importance to the world. They have destroyed, because since it does not show off Muhammad or Allah, it is unworthy, which is exactly what the Christians did with the Alexandrian Library. Islamic violence continues in India. Even under British rule, Muslim forces attack and massacre millions of Hindus. The British may have had political control and some military control, but they could not stop the religious infighting between the Muslims and the Hindus. Even today, Muslim groups attack businesses and temples. The partition of India into Muslim and Hindu territories didn't help. Muslims harassed and killed Hindus in Kashmir. There have been 3 Indo-Pakistani wars all over Kashmir. Islam has spread to the Pacific Indian Ocean areas as well. Indonesia is a Muslim nation. The Philippines also has Muslim groups causing troubles. Wherever there are strong groups of Muslims, they usually get an, how do we say this, a couple zealot ministers, imams, and when that happens, they start going out and causing trouble, killing and demanding a Muslim state. During the Crusades, Saladin wrote Muslim propaganda, telling his men to be soldiers or martyrs for Islam. Kill or be killed in the name of Allah. The Crusades had its share of massacres done by both Christians and Muslims. The Jews were the ones that received the brunt of both sides. If the Jews had more people, I am willing to bet money that it would have been a 3-way crusade between the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians. The only thing that stops the Jews is that they don't have as many people now as at one time they did have. The Balkans was a site of years of bloodshed between the Christians and the Muslims. The Austrian Empire fought the Ottoman Empire for control of the Balkans. The brutality and desperate tactics of this long struggle inspired new lows into killing people. Vlad the Impaler, aka Dracula, is from this time period, from this area. And he slowly killed thousands by impaling them on stakes. He was caught in the middle of the power struggle. His brother sided with the Ottoman Empire trying to get the land. So it was just a time period of darkness, fighting between the Christians and the Muslims. During World War II, Muslims sided with Nazi Germany and rallied around killing the Jews. Muslim leaders even met with Adolf Hitler in person. Although Adolf Hitler refused to touch their hands, he viewed them as unclean. Remember, Adolf Hitler was a devout Catholic. After World War II, Muslim forces consolidated power in the Middle East. Upset with the creation of Israel, there has been many Arab-Israeli wars. Remember, Israel was not created like other nations. It was decided by other people, colonial forces, we're talking about England and such, that this land here is now Israel. It is an Israeli refugee camp, an oversized refugee camp, and the Israelis can call this home. The hostilities with Israel have never ended. Terrorist groups like Hamas use hospitals and schools as locations to store and fire weapons upon Israel. And in response, Israel is forced to enter the Gaza Strip and these areas to repress the mortar and rocket attacks on Israel. There are 2 main groups in Islam, the Shiites and the Sunnis. These 2 groups are in opposition. They kill each other because of different religious views. Just like in Christianity, where you have the Catholics and the Reformation, where you had the Protestants fighting the Catholics, 30 Years' War. History is repeating itself. ISIL is the current Islamic version of the Puritans. They seek to create a pure Islamic nation and seek world control in the name of Allah. People must remember that Christianity and Islam are very similar. They are both religions that seek world domination. The Muslims have spread Islam out throughout the world, such as Indonesia, the Philippines, and they are slowly getting influence around the world. Christianity did the same thing. During the colonial exploration time period, they sent out Jesuit priests and they set up missionaries all around the world. There are today still missionaries that are active in Indian reservations here in the United States and Canada, in which the Native Americans are abused and killed. Islam is doing basically the same thing. So we need to realize this. The Abrahamic religions, all three of them, whenever they have the power, the might, they will strike anywhere and everywhere with utter brutality. They will kill each other and everybody else in the process. We need to stop the war against the world by these Abrahamic zealots. If you are an atheist, pagan, Hindu, although the Hindus sometimes are just as bad as the Muslims, we need to stop this. We need to bring peace to this world, and the only way to bring peace is to get rid of the Abrahamic religions. Take care. Be at peace.